Okay, right. Now in question C, we are being told that the arrow will follow a parabolic path with maximum at the point of release. It is given that the equation of its path is f of x equals to minus 1 over 50, open bracket, x squared minus 100, close brackets, and then comma 0, x is between 0 and 10. So, so basically, this is the domain of f, right? Now, in the question, they say that write down the equation of the inverse of the inverse. Yeah, write down the equation of the inverse function of f of x and state its domain. Now, from the theory, ne, um, what I want you to remember, ne, that the domain of f of x, ne, is gonna be the range of the inverse function. So for us now, what we basically need to do, ne, is for us to actually find the range, because now the range of this function of f of x is basically going to be the domain of the inverse function. So let's just do that. So what we need to do is just sub in those values and those values there in that equation there. All right, so let's just do that first before anything, before we can try to do the inverse. So we're gonna sub in, first of all we're gonna first sub in f equals to 0, then it's minus 1 over 50, then it's 0 squared minus 100. If you use a calculator, minus 1 over 50 times, you get 2. And then if you use sub in a 10, squared minus 100, you should get sorry, you should get, yes, you should get 0. All right, so therefore range of f of x is y is an element of 0 comma 2. All right, let me just write it better for you. 0 comma 2. All right, so this is the range. Now if this is the range of the f of x, we can now say therefore domain of inverse function of x is an element of 0 comma 2, right? Or basically you can write it like the way they wrote it here, like saying 0 greater x and then 2. All right, now after we have identified all of that, sorry, f, now that we have identified everything else, now we're gonna do the inverse of that given function. Now for us to do that, we're gonna say let f of x equals to y equals to 1 over sorry, minus 1 over 50 x squared minus 100, right? Then we're gonna say interchange x and y, and if you do that, now you're gonna get x equals to minus 1 over 50, then this is going to be y squared minus 100. Now the other thing that now we can do is multiply both sides by minus 50. If you do that, you're gonna get minus 50x equals to y squared minus 100. And then what you can now do is take the 100 to the other side, so we can now have y squared equals to minus 50x plus 100, right? And then after doing that, we can now for you to get rid of the root, you can basically just square both sides, right? You're gonna square both sides. Square both sides, right? Now remember, you will normally say plus or minus 10 whenever you square both sides. But then remember, and also, but now, seeing that we put a plus or minus, now we're gonna need to choose an equation. But can you see that our equation has to be between 0 um to 2? Now if we had to choose the minus one, we can't take the minus one because the domain doesn't allow us. So the only equation that allows us is going to be the positive one. So we're going to say therefore y will be square root minus 50x plus 100 with a domain of 0, x, and 2. And then that's how you could write down your answer. So this is the answer that we basically looking for at the end. Now this equation, if you want to make it so sophisticated, you can basically just say y equals to square root 100 minus 50x. It's up to you how you want to put it, but it's the same thing there. What this thing is the same thing as that one there. It's up to you how you want to put it, but it's basically the same thing. All right, I hope that you understand that.